The important lesson. Once upon a time, in the town of Dreamland, there lived a wise old man named Mr. Forever. He was known as the best storyteller in all the land. Whenever children gathered Anna, Hanny, Mia, Emma, and David around him, they knew they were in for a treat as he would tell them the most extraordinary tales. An important story. Mr. Forever began. Today, I want to tell you about a boy named Albert who learned a very important lesson. Albert loved science and was always playing by doing experiments. One day, he decided to build a small rocket to launch into the sky. Albert was very excited and passionate about science experiments. In his enthusiasm, he overlooked key steps in the scientific process. He had dreamed of launching a rocket for a long time. When the day finally came, his excitement made him rush ahead without proper preparations. Albert felt impatient and wanted instant gratification. Taking the time to plan carefully and test each component was tedious for him. The day of the launch arrived and Albert's rocket exploded on the launch pad. He was disappointed that his experiment had failed. But then Albert's friend Hannah said, "The only mistake in life is the lesson not learned." Albert realized she was right. He could learn from what went wrong to improve his next rocket design. He went back to the drawing board and carefully tested each part of his new prototype. When Albert launched his second rocket, it soared high into the blue ski. When Hanny was learning to tie her shoes, her first few attempts ended up in tangled, messy knots. But she kept practicing the bunny ear method over and over. After a few more tangled tries, she finally tied perfect bows. Those messy knots were an important step in the learning process. Remember when Emma tried to do a cartwheel for the first time? She fell right over, bumping her knee. It stung, but she tried again and again until her cartwheels were straight and steady. That first clumsy try taught her how to balance. Or what about when Mia was learning to swim? At first, she could barely doggy paddle across the pool without sinking or swallowing water. But Mia kept at it, practicing her kicking and breathing. After a few more sputtering attempts, soon she was gracefully swimming lap after lap. Her early struggles taught her how to float and stroke. Making mistakes is part of learning. So keep trying new things, children. Each time you make a silly error or have a clumsy start, think of it as a lesson that brings you one step closer to success. Let mistakes teach you, and you will go far. You see, children, said Mr. Forever, Albert learned an important lesson. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you take the time to understand what went wrong. Mistakes are just opportunities to learn and grow. If Albert had given up after his first try, he would have missed out on the thrill of success. The important thing was learning the lesson from each experience in life, good or bad.